Jesus tells us in John 14:6 that he is the way. He is the truth. And he is the life. No one comes to the Father except through him. He doesn't say that he is a way. He's an option amongst many. Oprah Winfrey, I think she said one time that all religions land at God or point to God. As long as you just follow something, you'll end up at God. Jesus differs with that. He says, I am the way. All others do not lead to the Father. I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life. And it's only by his grace that we can be saved. And he points to this also in 1 Corinthians 15:10. By the grace of God, I am what I am. And his grace toward me was not in vain. On the contrary, I worked harder than any of them. If anybody can get it, it's me, is what he's saying. Though it was not I, the grace of God that is in me. Saul did not have a choice to make for Christ. He literally could not walk away from this encounter with Christ, and he could not deny what had happened to him. He was humbled to the point of being physically handicapped to where he can't move. He could not take credit for this conversion. So by the grace of God, that is with me. As a result, I think it's the spiritually immature that will land at seeing their salvation as an achievement. So what I mean by that is that if we plan to stand before Christ and say, I chose Jesus on the day of judgment, I made the right choice. The preacher man, he told me that I had to make a choice for Christ today, and I did it. And that's the way you're planning on telling Christ, then your perspective, I think, is off. Instead, we could debate predestination, election, all the big trigger words. Okay, we could debate those things all day long. But if we look at Scripture, what does it do? It makes much of Christ, less of man. And that's exactly what it looks like in our conversion and our salvation as well. Make much of Christ and less of man. I chose Christ and I did this and now I'm saved is not a position to take. Instead, we should do like Paul does and say, by God's grace, I'm saved. We cannot, Paul didn't, we cannot and we should not try to take credit for our own salvation, because we cannot save ourselves. If anybody could do it, Paul could do it, right? He's got an impressive resume. But our only hope is the grace of God. Sola gratia is the Latin phrase. And it's by his amazing mercy that's poured out on us. And that is the emphasis of how we're saved. And that's what Paul points to. And that's what we see here in Acts chapter 9.